Heating up and unstable. Yeah, so good thing we only did 2 of them. Oh god. That's not good. Can I pull them back out? Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm your host D-Day, bringing you some more Oritech Academy. So before we start talking about the bedrock extractor and what I figured out with the lasers, be sure to click the first link in the description below. That is the playlist to all of Oritech Academy. If you click that, it will put everything in a really neat and organized list on the right-hand side of your screen, and it would help me out a lot, because being transparent, if they're all right there, you're more likely to click on them, right? Alright, so I told you guys at the end of last episode that I would do experiments. So I did 10-minute experiments with 1 laser, with 2 laser, and with 3 lasers. I was going to do a 4th one, but it will not attach. So I shift right-click and shift right-click, position saved. It won't do it. And I was thinking, is it range? I have another 2 here because I was going to go all the way to testing out 6 on 3. So 6 enderic lasers attached to 3 fuel generators. But I can only get 3 of them to attach, so I think that is the maximum power that the bedrock extractor can accept. So this is the chest that has crazy amount of stuff in it. I reset it. It's doing its thing over again. These are the results for 1 laser, 10 minutes, 17 diamonds, 7 gold, 26 uranium, 15 platinum, and 10 emeralds. So this is the results for 2 lasers for 10 minutes and 3 lasers for 10 minutes. The one that I noticed the most, of course, is uranium. And I'm not sure if we selected, yeah, I think that's the reason why. We have 2 uranium nodes, or is it 3? No, 2 uranium nodes. We have 1 emerald, we have 1 platinum, we have 1 gold, and we have 1 diamond. Okay. So I do believe it switches between the blocks. So it'll mine 1, then it'll mine the next one, then it'll mine the next one. And that is probably the reason why we are getting more uranium than the other ones. 32 and 34, 34, 45 is pretty close. Yeah, like if I split this up, 34, 45, 38, 45, 34, 32. That sounds about right, yeah. So now that I'm noticing this, 22, 21, 27, 28, 27, 25, yeah. Okay, yeah. So it does take into consideration how many blocks there are. So we're not just doing 5 resources, we're doing 6 nodes. So it does uranium twice. Very cool. I love learning new stuff. I'm going to let this guy keep running. We have, honestly, too many resources to work with. I will start today's episode off with the drone port. I thought about maybe doing an entire episode on the drone port, but this guy is really simple. It's just a really big ender chest. So we'll do drone ports to make all of these areas send what's coming out of the bedrock extractor to our home base. So we don't need to come here anymore. Unless, of course, we need to refuel the fuel generators. But that's something that we will notice when resources stop coming. That means the generators are out of fuel, either crude oil or turbo fuel. Here is our lapis, redstone, and nickel and gold. It's smashed. Yep, full. And here is our nickel, iron, copper, and coal. And the reason why this one's still spinning is because it ran out of crude oil, so I had to set this guy back up, or else this chest would have been full by now as well. I have something special planned to show you guys in the quarry, but let's do that at the end. Let's go ahead and teleport home again, and let's see, let's sleep the night because it's raining. So over here, I moved the singular fuel generator over into the little pocket of the cave that we have. And here I have set 1 solar generator. It is only attached to the enderic laser. So production rate 128, and this laser does 128. So during the day, this guy harvests an infinite amount of fluxite. Then I got a proxy that sends it over here to our atomic forge. And this guy is smashed. It is full. I have run some ideas on this guy with multiple enderic lasers. Realize that out of these 9 that I have, one of them does not want to fire. So I believe it can only take power from enderic lasers. And because the buffer is only 1024, max usage is 1024, I believe it can only take exactly 8 fully powered enderic lasers. The 9th one just won't fire. I showed you guys this before. We have all of our crushing over here. So this guy's going to crush everything, send it downstairs. All of the byproducts are going to be crafted into clumps. They all come over here. It's now empty. All of the clumps get sent to the centrifuge with water to be turned into gems. And everything that I put into the fragment forge that doesn't go to centrifuges, I had to make sure that I put a filter with a whitelist, so quartz dust, coal dust, the uranium, the plutonium, fluxite, and sand, because I've been crushing gravel to make sand. It has to be filtered and whitelisted out, or else none of these guys will move. And then this guy just dumps it right here for me, so it's nice and convenient. It pops out in here. Here's my quartz dust. And here we go, we're already getting fluxite, probably from the platinum. Yeah, the platinum that's being crushed. And here are the gems that are on their way. Very cool. I love it when things work. So like I said, let's go ahead and make a drone port. And as you can see, I have already made 2 drone ports. One in the quarry, which is the surprise for later, and one here. And this guy kind of defeats the surprise, right? It's sending all of my plutonium dust from the quarry to here. So this is something we're going to use to make plutonium pellets, which is the fuel for the fusion reactor or nuclear reactor. That's what I meant. So after the drone port, we'll make the nuclear reactor, because I'm pretty sure the drone port is not going to take that long to cover. For this, we need 2 advanced computing engines and a super AI chip. So the super AI chip needs a duradium and 2 more advanced computing engines. So we need 4. So that means we need 8 silicone wafers. So that means we need 16 silicone. And of course, 2 processing units. Very cool. So let me show you guys what I was talking about. If we drop these guys in here, 16, 8, 8, and 8. All of them are firing except for this guy. He is shamefully looking off in the other direction. That was pretty fast. There's 4. There's 2. How many did I need again? I needed 2 and I need 4. Okay, so I simple mathed incorrectly again, but that's a really simple fix. 2 more. These guys. And boom. See, like I can't unclick and look at this guy before the craft is even finished. That's how fast it is. It's really cool. So let's see, do we have any duradium? We have 3 left. We might have to go mining later. And boop, boop. See, he's not firing, but all of the other ones are. Super AI chip. And the 2 advanced computing engines that we need. Those are the expensive parts. Then superconductor, 2 motors, and 3 plating. So I've batch crafted some of these guys. 2 motors, 3 plating, and 1 of these superconductors. So the recipe is still the same: dubious container, energite, flux gates, and fine wire. And that makes us a drone port. Cool. The drone port needs 11 machine cores. And I was thinking, I have been making the best cores every single time, and it's gotten more and more expensive, but I am not maxing them out with machine extenders. So it really doesn't matter, with the exception of the solar generator. It doesn't matter what cores you attach if you're not attaching any upgrades. The cores actually determine how much power the solar generator provides. So that's actually important. I believe I tested out the next level of core here. Yeah, and it just goes up, see, from 128 to 160. It's not even worth it. These cores, let me see, which one was it? It was the Elite Machine Core, which is all adamant around an advanced computing engine. So it's a lot of extra work. And it's only, what is that? 32? Yeah, 32 extra RF a tick. It's not worth it. I would just rather make another solar generator out of advanced machine cores. Let me put these guys here real quick so they're out of my inventory. And let's see, do we have... I think we still have some. Yes, we do. Copper gems. So this is really cool. Now what we can do is we can ore double the double. So that guy's not firing, everybody else is firing. The atomic forge is wiggling because it's so happy. And it is doubling our gems into dusts now. And here we go, 2 stacks of copper dust, and let's toss some uranium in there. So 2 stacks of uranium with 1 stack of copper dust will make us the uranium gems, which we're going to need. They are going to be required to make the uranium pellets, which go into the reactor rods to power our nuclear reactor. But like I was saying with the drone port, I'm not attaching any of the upgrades to it. So really, I don't have a tree farm going on. I can just do 1 step up, which is going to be the basic machine core, so 11 of them. So we just need 11 of the lapis, and then we surround it in copper. These guys are always going to be a good choice. All right, so we got our drone port, we got our basic machine core. This is going to be really exciting. Let's go ahead and head back to our uranium. That's this guy right here. This side is not powered. It is not firing. Very disappointing. But what I am thinking is maybe we can set up the 4th one that is not firing. It can power the drone port down here, and we can watch the drone port in action. And let me also take these guys with me. This guy was completely made out of primitive machine cores. Still makes 256 RF a tick. Alright, so same thing. Let's put F3 and G for chunk borders. Make sure that we place this guy in 1 chunk. So yeah, as long as we're over here, we'll be fine. Alright, so let's set this guy up, I guess, like right here next to the bedrock extractor. We got our basic machine cores. And there goes our very, very cool drone port. So I did realize that when you put it down, it does face the left. As you can see, this little drone here is facing this way. So remember that for the direction you want your drone to lift off in. I kind of want him to fly this way. So let me break this guy down and then put him down to the right a little bit. All right, so I want him to face differently. So how about here? And let's go. Yeah, this is the direction I want him to face. So he will, when you put down the drone port, it will fire off to the left. So let's see, target designator. Let's tag this guy with a shift boop. And this guy, position saved to machine. Not gonna fire? I don't know why this one's not firing now, but it is very simple. We just need to run a power cable down. All right, just running a straight power cable. Plugged it in. I know that an enderic laser can charge this guy, so I don't know why it's not functioning. But we have power now, and it says target must be at least 50 blocks away. So we always, when we're making these, the first one has to be set in 2s. So you need to build one for where you're sending it from, and the other one to where it's going. So let's go over here. This is the one that receives. So we're going to shift boop. And on this guy, we're going to put the card in right here. Target port set. Drone will deliver whenever the inventory is not empty. So we can take this guy back now. Very cool. Now we can pull from this chest here and put it inside of this guy right here. And boop. There we go. Putting it in, the drone is getting ready, and it will fly off into the wall. Okay, it goes up. This is one little thing that is a peeve of mine. I don't like that it flies straight up into the walls. So let me see. It goes off every so often. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to decorate the ceiling in this case to make it look more like he's going up and out. If only I had Ultimine for escape tunnel, but I'm gonna say I'm happy with that. That looks fine. That looks better than it just flying into the ceiling and vanishing. That's just an aesthetic touch, so we're getting stuff from this guy now, and this drone port here is sending it back to our main base now. Yep, so everything is arriving here now from 2 different locations and being put into this diamond chest here. This guy's going to fill up really fast. So what we do need to do is have this come out to a whole bunch of filters, and each diamond chest be filtered to one item, like raw gold, diamond, raw platinum, emerald, plutonium dust. The uranium, of course, we're going to be making a lot of uranium because we have 2, including the quarry that is making uranium and the plutonium that we need. But like I said, I wanted the drone port to be really quick. I'm going to put another 2 drone ports in, one for the redstone and one for the iron. So iron, copper, nickel, coal will get one. Redstone, lapis, gold, nickel will get one. We have set up uranium and the quarry is already set. So let's go ahead and jump into making the nuclear reactor now, because we're going to have nuclear power now. All right, so we're going to have to make a whole bunch of reactor walls. That's plating, steel, and nickel. Very cheap. So let's set this bad boy to make a ridiculous amount of the reactor walls. We're also going to have to make a control panel. So that's 2 of these guys and 1 of these guys. Let's go ahead and build this guy real fast. There's our reactor control panel. We're making the walls. We got single rods. We have reactor neutron reflectors, which each of these requires a duradium ingot. The single rods only need energite and plastic. So every time we combine these guys, 2 with a reactor neutron reflector makes a double. And then, of course, we need a double, 2 doubles to make a quad. So we need 3 of these reactor neutron reflectors. We have 2 duradium. Nice. Thank goodness for this advanced finders, right? Efficiency. Got it. What are we at? We got 7. That should be enough. All right, and we'll toss it into the fragment forge so that we can double it. We'll also toss in this little bit of nether quartz that we got. Yep, and I never set the netherite scraps to the filter. So I need to set this guy here so that it sends it up to my chest for me. There we go. And 14 and 14 will make us the netherite that we need. Let's also grab 14 of our platinum. Awesome. That gives us the 14 duradium that we can start making. We need 3 for right now. So I was thinking about making 3 of these reactor neutron reflectors. For that, we're going to need 12 of the adamant and 12 of our reactor walls. Let's go ahead and set that. We'll make 3 of these dudes. Yeah, 3. And we'll grab our 8 energite and 4 plastic sheets. Let's make 4 of these rods. And then let's turn them into doubles. And then let's turn the double into 1 quad. Very cool. And since it holds 4 times as much, it probably also makes 4 times the heat. And for that, what we're going to need is going to be these heat pipes. The heat pipes move heat around. So it's kind of like an energy pipe or an item pipe. It's a heat pipe. So it transfers the heat. And we need to send it to different things to have it come out. So either to a heat absorber, which does 16 heat from all neighboring components, or to a heat vent, which removes the heat from the hottest neighboring component. We also have coolant absorber ports, but this actually needs an item to be put inside of it. I need to test this out to see if we can pump water into it, or if it can only take items. If it takes fluids, then perfect. But I don't want to have something I need to have maintenance on. Because these dudes, they can explode on you. And I really don't want to lose my entire base this early on. I think we're only on episode 10. I still have episodes that I want to work on. And now I'm getting a little nervous. Should I work here or should I work in a chunk further away until I know exactly what I'm doing? How about on top of the hill? Yeah. Because if it explodes, we'll see, we'll make a crater. I don't want it near anything that I'm gonna miss. All right, so here we go. Let's start building our reactor. So I was thinking about, let's see, let's make a 5x5 on the inside. So that means we need to do a 7x7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's see, that does make it odd. So let's put it in the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good thing we made so many. Let's go ahead and go up 1 level. All right, we got more than enough. Let's go up 2 levels. And let's go up a 3rd, because I'm pretty sure this mod works exactly like the other reactor mods, where it doesn't matter about filling it completely in the middle. It just registers everything that is inside. All right, so I would say right here, let's go ahead and put down our port. I love the connected textures. It looks awesome. So it says stable RF production 50 RF a tick. Hottest part 50 RF. I don't think it actually produces anything with nothing inside. All right, we got our reactor quad rod. We need to do a reactor fuel port that will go on top of the quad rod. Hopper chest and pipes. It's super simple. All right, reactor fuel port, that needs to be directly above the quad rod. All right, we need heat pipes. So gold and electrum. All right, do they stack? Hopefully they do. Okay, so we got 20 heat pipe. And then let's make some of these reactor vents just so we have them ready. All right, so let's test out 4 of these guys. And I think that is all we need to get this guy up and running, but we could make an energy port real fast. 3 more electrum. Not too expensive. Let's go ahead, reactor energy port. All right, and this guy can supply the power to the chiller here, right? And then, of course, let's make the fuel out of uranium, because we were making the uranium gems. You can either make them out of nickel or adamant. So 2, 3, or duradium for 4. I would say let's go with adamant, because that's infinitely resourced right now. We get nickel, but we also get diamonds and nickel. All right, so let's build this guy. Uranium, plastic, and adamant. We don't need that many right now, so let's just grab some of our pellets and head over here. Actual yellow cake. So I'm going to put the fuel rod smack dab in the middle. And from what I understand, this guy needs to be above. But I think since we have the walls up higher, it needs to be 1 more. All right. So from what I understand, the quad rod will make heat. It'll go into the heat pipes next to it. Then it has an opportunity to dissipate through 2 of the vents each. If there's more heat and it passes out to here, then it's going to spread this way and have another chance to exit with these two, or this way and have another chance to exit. That's what I'm hoping. We are far enough away that if this thing explodes, we should be fine, right? But let's face it, if this thing explodes, you guys will love that, right? So it is idle, and I was looking up the redstone. I wanted to do a redstone port to turn it on and off, but it says it right there. The redstone signal to this block will disable the insertion of new fuel. Already consumed fuel pellets will still need to be burned, which that doesn't help me. So I can't turn it off. It will burn the one uranium pellet that I put in. Maybe if the heat is crazy, I can mine up the control panel and have it not explode. So let's try this. Hottest part, heating. Yeah, it doesn't look like RF production 768. That's nice. I don't think it is dissipating the heat very well. Oh, it stopped burning. I was like, oh, it fixed itself. No. It did not explode. It did create power, which did fill our industrial chiller. Hey, I'm pretty sure the heat pipes have to touch each other for it to transfer. All right, let's try the quad again. Maybe since I moved the vents to the edges, it's working a little bit better. Yep, it still only takes one, and it's heating. Okay. 768 RF a tick, but it is heating up. All right, so I have dwindled it down now until I got to a breaking point. So we are now down to only 4 reactor pipes in all of the cardinal directions and 4 of the reactor heat vents in the corners. So it is just a 3x3 in the middle. And now when I put uranium pellets in, it lights up. The heat turns orange. It says it's heating, but the temperature, it stops at 350 with the RF production of 768 RF a tick. So I love running experiments. So if we were just making a 3x3 and it was only one layer, so a 3x3x3, this is the design that I would go for. A quad rod, the heat pipes in the cardinal directions, the heat vents in the 4 corners. The reason why I don't want to do any of the active cooling is because if I have this on and at any time I forget to put the coolant in, this guy will go past what is acceptable and it will explode. It's not just going to overheat and melt like some mods. This will leave a crater. So one experiment I want to do is I want to raise this guy up 1 level, because it does say when you do something wrong and you right click here, it says that the reactor must be identical on all Y levels. So I can't do a completely different design on the next level. So let's get rid of these 2 things right here. I was preparing and I already made another quad rod. So we're going to go up 1. And let's see, I'm going to do something different. Let's just say we decided to do a completely different design. I know the heat's not going to transfer this way, but that should work. And see, invalid reactor walls need to be made of reactor compatible blocks, meaning we have to go up 1 more level if we want to add a second level, like so. And then we'll put the fuel port on top of this guy. So it is 1 higher now. And it says right there, interior components to be identical on all Y levels. So we can't do different shapes and patterns on every level. It has to be identical. So really, if you guys can get this to work in whatever design you like in the first level, just copy it and go up. It's that simple. So here we are, we copied it and went up another level. And let's put in some fuel after I charge my jetpack. Oh man, now I gotta hoof it. All right, so double pellets and boom, it is up and running. And see, it still only shows off the bottom level because there's really no point in showing off the next level after this because it's identical, right? So more or less, we are going to be making double the RF, 1536 now, and burning the fuel twice as fast. Twice as fast as if we had one quad rod. So this is the first test, is just straight up just going up, right? If we did a 3x3 in the center, so a 5x5 by 3. So 5 width, 5 length, and 3 height, because the bottom needs to be filled in with a reactor wall, and the top is kind of like this goofy open thing, which has at least the reactor fuel port at the top and the edge. We don't need to fill in the top part. We can at some point to make it look cooler, but this mod, it doesn't require us to. All right, so we're going to put a quad rod here, and then in all 4 of the cardinal directions, heat vent, and in 4 corners, right here, we're going to get rid of this guy. We have our heat vents, and then on top of it, we'll have our reactor fuel port. So we need to move over 1 in this direction and 1 in this direction. So we're making it bigger again, guys. All right, so we got another quad. So we'll put this guy here. And again, cardinal directions and pipes. Like this. And then we need to make another reactor fuel port for on top of this. So 3 reactor fuel ports, 2 more quad rods, and then I believe we have enough of the reactor heat vents and pipes. All right, so fuel rod, cardinal directions, heat vent. So heat vents in the corners, cardinal directions for the heat pipe, quad rod. And on top of these guys, we'll put the fuel ports. Okay. This is identical for setups. So let's see. 2. Oh, okay. I need to build it first. 2, 2, 2, and 2. Let's see. Heating. 3000 RF a tick. Unstable. It is not doing well. How do I turn it off? Hottest part 1400. Is it going to keep burning? Let me pull these out. Oop, it took that one. Unstable. That sounds really bad. Make the inside a ring of reactor heat and the outside all vents. So we'll need 1, 2, 3, 4 more vents. So now let's see what happens when we... Let's do the opposite ones. Just 2 of them real quick. Heating up and unstable. Yeah, so good thing we only did 2 of them. Oh, God. That's not good. Can I pull them back out? Wow, this is actually pretty cool. I can't do it. Can I break it and make it disconnected? Okay. I was not expecting a particle effect and sounds. That was cool, though. This design does not work. Got it. All right, I got it to start running. Yes, it's unstable. Yes, it's in red. But it is not going over 1200 degrees, which might be, even though it's unstable, it's not catching on fire, and it's not getting hot to a point where it's going to explode. It's just running really, really hot. There's no durability on these items, so running it at unstable, as long as it doesn't go over and go critical, we're fine. So what I changed it to is 2 vents directly attached to the quad rod, and then 2 directions for the heat to disperse into 2 more reactor heat vents. So I have shrunk it back down into a 3x3 that works. All right, so the inside is now a 3x3, and the outside is a 5x5 by 3 tall right now, which the Y level tall doesn't matter right now. So we have a quad rod, a vent on the side of it, a vent on the side of it. Then we have a heat pipe out, so that we can get access to 3 instead of 2. And we'll put the fuel on top, double boop this guy, and put the controller in. Unstable 1200, which is fine. 12.4, there we go. I am happy with this. So this is the design that I'll go with in the 3x3. 2 vents directly next to the quad rod. 2 pipes going into 3 vents. That makes sense. And yes, it's unstable. Yes, it's really, really hot. It is producing 768. It's not heading towards meltdown. And there's no durability. If these items had durability on them and they would break on the inside, then that would be a problem. And for my final trick, let me get rid of this guy. We don't need 4 of them now. We still only need 1. But let's go 1, 2, and 3 up. And then attach our reactor fuel port. All right. So we need to raise this entire guy now to this height. Okay. So we'll go up again this high. And we'll make it identical. Up, 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 up. Vents. Vent. More. Right here. We ran out of vents. We need 1. And we need 2, 3, 4 more vents. We got the 4 in our inventory. Perfect. So let's go. 1, 2, 3. And which one were we missing? 4. Okay, now it should be identical all the way through. And let's make 100% sure. Let's break the controller. We'll break this guy. And we'll break all the way down just to make 100% sure. And we'll go up. Like this. And 1. Controller. Enter. Looks like it's working. Let's go ahead and dump a lot in there. 3. It's now burning it much faster. Yep, it's going to unstable. Oh, it ran out before it got even hot enough, but it is running 3000 RF a tick now. That's pretty nice. Here we go. Let's grab a stack and another stack and a hopper. Hopper. Whole bunch of energy. And let's watch this guy go. Yep, 1240. It's running. 3000 RF a tick. I like that. And yeah, like the active cooling, if you're not running it past unstable with active cooling, then the active cooling is unnecessary. And if your active cooling runs out, then your reactor will go unstable, and if you're not there, it will explode while you're AFK. That will happen to me. That's why I don't like doing maintenance like active cooling, unless I can make a fully automated active cooling system. But what I enjoy is also trying to figure out how can I get around the active cooling. So here we go. we have a successful reactor. I like this design. The smallest design for a quad rod with no active cooling. I like that. It does burn fuel very quickly though. I just realized that it burns very quickly. So we're at 52 and I'm talking just enough for you guys to see. 51, that's how quick. So I'm filling in the time talking about it and it is now 50. So it is burning through this fuel very fast. So this might be a situation where we only use the reactor when we really need a whole bunch of RF a tick. And I like having a reactor with only one fuel port as opposed to what we were testing out earlier with 4. Those are 4 different fuel ports just to make it wider. Because if you think about it, going wide and making more than one fuel port, you could just make a whole nother reactor and not have to deal with it being really wide and big and having more than one spot. You're really only going to be saving on reactor walls because you're pretty much just pushing 2 reactors together, making it one reactor, and you're only saving the reactor wall in between the 2 units. That's the way I see it. And then we don't need to do this, but we can seal off the top to make it look nice and flush. There we go. And yeah, it's still a fully functional unit. We don't need to put a ceiling on, but like I said, it's just reactor wall. It's not that difficult to attain. So that is one thing we can do. We can keep building this guy up, or we can sink it into the ground at this level, I would say, and then build down. So we don't have this obnoxiously huge, tall reactor. We can put most of it underground. We can build down. So I will goof around and probably start next episode with a reactor that goes down as far as possible with just these top 3 rows above ground, just to have it look cool, right?
Thank you so much for joining me today. Smash like to show your appreciation and consider leaving a boom in the comments section below. Also, click on my dude here to subscribe for more Let's Plays. Ooh.